right, we're live. All right. What up, everybody? Late, but I see some folks hopping in. Waiting on well, FIFO should be on. I don't know if Mandy's gonna come on, but he'll probably hop on 12 a.m. where we at. So we're obviously not gonna be here long. But that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and we'll have everybody chime in when they get here. This is the place for sports opinions collide. Dennis Sports. I'm your host Kenneth Benz. Joining me, we have Nick. What's up, bro?
What's going on?
Uh, hey man, that was a hell of a game, man. Chiefs
That was
win. Hmm?
that was an interesting first game of the season.
Yeah, so the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens faced off in the 2024 NFL kickoff. There was a 20-minute delay, which I don't know what that was about. I have to get just a quick explanation from you on what happened if you were watching. But nevertheless, it came down to a toe. He got KD'd. Isaiah Likely caught what appeared to be a game-winning touchdown, but he had a toe, probably like a big toe on the line, and it did not count. And which was unfortunate because Harbaugh was going for two, which I thought was probably really a good move. But overall, man, what are your Oh, okay. So people saying it was lightning. Okay, cool. Overall, man, like you said, it was an interesting first game. What are your thoughts on what you saw?
Because at first it was just it was interesting because it seemed like the Ravens didn't like learn their lesson from the championship game. Because like Lamar was
Mhm.
really throwing the ball a lot that first half, and then they weren't really running the ball. Granted, the Chiefs were really good at getting to Derrick Henry. I don't think he was really that effective, unless it was like short yardage. But yeah, it just felt like I was just seeing Lamar throw the ball more, and it felt like it was just like, okay. I mean, that first drive they went down the field quickly on the Chiefs, and I thought that it was going to be like, okay, this is a little bit different. They're gonna kind of try to be more, smash mouth with it, with run the ball, run with Lamar, kind of keep the defense guessing. Then he just kept on throwing, and it was just like, if you're doing this, then you're doing it against the wrong quarterback because Patty can throw with anybody. Um, and then the Ravens defense just was letting Rashid Rice just do whatever. Like it just seemed like they didn't know. It just seemed like, I don't know. It just felt like they didn't really learn anything from losing in the championship game. It was like they were just stuck on those plays that were happening months ago and not really reinventing themselves. Um, it just
Yeah,
yeah, it just felt weird. It just felt weird watching them for a little bit.
yeah. They both teams marched down the field. Um, Lamar made some plays. Almost made a play. We had a great screen call by Andy Reid for Worthy to get him a ball, so we kind of saw how he would be utilized. I think for me, man, just looking at the final box score, Lamar ended up he had 41 attempts in this game um, to Patrick Mahomes 28. In terms of running the ball, though, well, I mean, there are 32 carries, but 16 are Lamar. So how many of those actually came
Yeah.
off drop downs compared to 20 by the Chiefs? So I think when I look at it, and I know a lot of those passes attempts will be inflated because of the 2-minute warning, but Derrick Henry, bro,
I, I,
is a concern.
I told you. I mean, well, I said it in our chat. Uh, he running like Medea. Like he ain't he. And it was interesting. I think I read something or I saw something that he Derrick Henry actually is really served best out of shotgun instead of I formation when it comes to his runs. But I don't know. It's first game of the season, so everybody's a little bit rusty. I think they always say like give it 2-3 weeks, and then you'll see what the team is. But this was a huge game to start off the season because this is basically like an AFC. Um, this will play in the playoff seeding basically down the line. Like we're gonna go all the way back to this game at the end of the season and saying like, damn, if the Ravens would have won this, they could have got the 1 seed or they could have got the 2 seed or something like that. Um, so I think it's a big game, even though it's a regular season game. I just expected Lamar and them to come out better, but yeah, Derrick Henry just didn't. He didn't look explosive at all. He didn't even look like he was. They kept on trying to hype up how much he's built like a linebacker against like going against the Chiefs
Mhm.
linebackers, but it just wasn't effective because you see Lamar. Lamar had what like over 100 yards rushing, doing just doing Lamar stuff, and it just seemed like Derrick Henry was just kind of there.
Yeah, and let me switch my microphone. I was using the other one. Yeah, that I don't know. Yeah, that's concerning. I don't want to say he's washed, but I'm gonna say I think he's washed.
I ain't going that
But
far yet. I'm gonna wait till at least week 6, and then I'm gonna see what he on. But yeah, Henry. I don't know. FIFA was the only one that got Derrick Henry faith left, or he got all the stock left in Derrick Henry because I think I'm about to sell mine. I ain't gonna say he washed, but shit, he had the cleanest.
Look. He's not a third down back. He's not a receiving back. Like he never has been that. And this game got at the beginning, you know what I'm saying? Like Derrick Henry was a big factor. I think they showed the stat where he had more touches in that first drive than the AFC title game that the Baltimore Ravens had as a team. So they started off ground and pound. Then it got a little ugly, and then you saw a little bit of the fatigue, a little bit of the sloppiness. That illegal formation, they were killing Baltimore early in the game with that. You know what I'm saying? Where the Ronnie Staley wasn't necessarily lined up close enough to the line of scrimmage. I think that held them back a little bit, and it just got to a point where I think what Lamar Jackson had like 30 some pass attempts. You know what I'm
41.
saying?
41.
41. So I think that the way that you want to win and play games if you're the Ravens is keep Lamar no more than like 30, 28 to 31 in terms of pass attempts. And that means that Derrick Henry is getting the ball a lot more and Justice Hill isn't going to see the field as much. But in this game, it turned out the way it did. We got a great game. I think that if this is going to set the tone for the NFL season, we're in for a doozy then.
Derrick Henry had 13
Oh,
carries for 46 yards and a touchdown. I felt like he was barely utilized in the second half, and it was a close game. I think it was close enough, except when the Chiefs ran it up to 10, but it was still close enough for them to use him more um, than they did. And I think the other thing that I would be concerned about would be the receivers, bro. Like these guys were not getting open. Likely is their best weapon.
Yeah, him and Zay. But like I said in the chat, it's like I don't feel that they are scheming them open enough. You know what I'm saying? Like it feels like it's up to the receivers to try to get open versus it being schemed open for them. We see the play design that Andy Reid had with the one to the backup tight end Gray. He hit like a little block. He just turned around. He was right there. So you see creatively how he gives Mahomes some gimmies. Now Mahomes does what Mahomes does. He makes some crazy throws, but at the end of the day, like you got to give your franchise QB a couple of gimmies. You know what I'm saying? Just to get the offense jump started, and we see that with Todd Monken. He's not giving Lamar any gimmies.
they they were forcing it to Zay Flowers. Like if you were a Zay Flowers fantasy owner, you were loving the way this offense is going because they were just. What happened to Rashad Bateman? He messed up. I'm saying all this because he messed up a parlay of mine. I needed Rashad Bateman to get at least 3 receptions, and he only got one. Like what's the point of having all these other receivers? Like if you're just going to use Likely and just go to Zay, like and then like this offense looks like. If I'm gonna keep it a beat, I know it's early in the season, and I'm trying to be mild mannered Nick for the rest of the season, Ken. But this offense looks cheeks. If we're being honest, being
Yeah,
frank,
no,
like
it
if
didn't look
if
good.
if, if this is what it's going to be like, and it's interesting that we're saying this on week 1 because last year week 1 I was early in saying like the Chiefs offense wasn't nothing to be crazy about, and especially with all those drops. And then you look at this Ravens offense, and it's like Derrick Henry looked like he running in molasses. Zay Flowers is good, but he's more of a 2 than a 1. The rest of the receivers are irrelevant in Baltimore. There's no point even mentioning them. Isaiah Likely may be a breakout star, but what happened to Mark Andrews? They use him as an offensive lineman more than a tight end. I don't know. It's just this offense doesn't scare. Like, if you really take Lamar Jackson out of this, which is what the Chiefs have been able to do, it seems so. Even if you look at his stats, they were taking Lamar Jackson out the game. Like, the Ravens can't score more. Like, they barely scored over 20 points. And then you got Justin Tucker looking like his leg is going out, and it's just not looking good.
I definitely think Tucker might be washed. But it's first game of the season. Kyle likes to remind us that we have to wait until week 3 or 4. The Chiefs defense, they lost some key pieces, but they looked up to par. But I want to see them against another a real aerial offense versus this offense, because we had a bunch of Lamar scrambles because guys weren't getting open when there were not any designed runs. I thought Chris Jones was a monster, but I think this really came down to playmakers, and I think the secondary got confused on the Xavier Worthy touchdown, the second one that he caught through the air. And but I got to give Lamar props, bro. Like, that game was right there, and he missed an easy touchdown to Zay Flowers. He missed Likely, which he would have to throw on a dime, but he made the throw to Likely for what we thought was the game-winning game tying touchdown. It's just his foot was on the line. So then the one that he misses, Zay Flowers, looms a little bit larger because that guy, he was wild. There was nobody around him, but he drove him down the field, and he showed he was MVP. Man. I think it was a hell of a play.
That kid, bro.
He showed that he was the MVP.
You see,
not MVP of this season. I'm talking about from last year, bro.
It's too early to give out participation trophies, kid. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
It's not participation trophy. Nick. At the end of the day, that is what Lamar Jackson displayed is exactly what you want your franchise quarterback to be able to do. Less than 2 minutes left in the game, one timeout, and you drive 80 yards. Like, that is what you pay the top guys in the league to do, and gives yourself an opportunity to win. Now, look, they didn't win the game, Nick, and for you, it's win or loss. But in that, you lose context. Lamar did an excellent job driving them down the field with one timeout left, and he made the play. It was literally a toe that was out of the end zone that he can't control that aspect of it. He made the throw. Isaiah Likely made the catch. His toe was out of bounds. So don't lose the context of the greatness within that last drive, bro.
Ken, what do you always say? Or I don't know if you heard this saying. I feel like you said it before. It's like there's always one touchdown in every drive. You may not get it or not.
Yeah, I heard it.
We're judging. This is a 2-time MVP, right? He's won 70+% of his regular season games. He's only at the time he was only behind Tom Brady. They were the number 1 seed last year. My thing is, Lamar got paid last time I checked, right? So I can say all this stuff now, because last year was the year that they were supposed to win. This year it's like, bro, FIFA, how many times did they beat the Chiefs?
Only once.
So, and who's the only real competition would you say the Ravens have in the AFC?
2 teams.
I said real, like
Bengals Chiefs.
Bengals Chiefs, right? Chiefs. Yeah, but they have a good record against the Bengals. So you would say the only one they got a really game plan for is Chiefs. It just seems like they can beat them. And remember, I told you that I said this on Tuesday. I was like, Lamar Jackson seems like he's the Peyton Manning of this era. And obviously, Patty is like the Tom Brady when it comes to winning, because it's just like, bro, like, how many times do we got to see the same kind of thing where we're saying like, oh, if Lamar just did this, or if they just did, it's just like, all right, but if he can't beat him, he can't beat him, bro. I'm the one who picked him.
That's what it is. But that's what it is, though, Nick. Like, we're living in a quarterback era of Michael Jordan, aka Patrick Mahomes. And that's what happens. This is just what happens. But at the end of the day, don't discredit Lamar's greatness for Patrick Mahomes' greatness.
If
They
I'm not,
both wait, hold on now. They both displayed greatness in this game. They both displayed high levels of IQ. The tip pass that Mahomes went and got between between a linebacker and a defensive end, or a linebacker as well. Odafe always a linebacker, but making that heads up play. The plays that Lamar made with his feet, also down in that last drive, getting the ball to Isaiah Likely, getting the ball out of bounds. Obviously, they only had one timeout. Doing those things, Nick, I feel if I was to extrapolate just your take and put it out there in the world, people would think that Lamar Jackson is the bootiest
no,
quarterback in
I'm
the
not
league right
saying
now.
I'm not saying that.
That's I'm just
What
letting you
I'm
know
saying,
what you say, how it's received.
no, I'm saying what I'm saying is the last two games that Lamar Jackson has played against, the last two games he's played in the NFL is this one in the AFC Championship game last season. Were those two of Lamar Jackson's best performances you've seen? Not
This
in
one was
general, not in his career. I'm just talking about like.
this one was a damn good performance. The AFC Championship game, you had questions.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't have
I'm sorry.
questions.
I'm sorry. I don't have questions as far as him as a franchise quarterback. That's why I'm not trying to say he's trash. I'm just saying when it comes down to like being the guy to win the big game, when has Lamar won the big game?
To me, this wasn't on Lamar, and I think that's what
When you
everybody
missing
wanted to
when you
see.
missing a touchdown like that to Zayba, it's hard for me to say that.
Everybody missed. Everybody missed.
No, not
Pat
not when it's
Mahomes. Pat
Yeah,
Mahomes missed too.
yeah, he did, but I think that and yeah, it probably was like because he was open, and so it seemed like something was off on that play, on how he missed him. That he was wide open like that, because he was there. So I don't know if they just didn't have the right communication going or whatnot. But nevertheless, it didn't happen. But I think that he came back and he made the right play, or he made a play, and likely just had his foot was too big, bro. It is what it is.
so we blaming likely.
Nah, no. I think it's
That's what I'm saying.
just
So who's
what
the
happened in the game.
So
who's the loss on FIFO then?
To me, it's primarily on Todd Monken, because the offensive play calling wasn't geared toward the strength of the offense. Right, you bring in Derrick Henry, you shouldn't have to throw 40 plus times with Lamar, and also Lamar had about 15 to 18 rushes. I don't remember the exact number, but I know he was close to 120 yards rushing. Like, that is too much on Lamar's plate. And also, like I talked about earlier, you have to be able to give your quarterback some gimmies. How many times did they run a screen?
A lot.
Those are gimme
They
plays.
did a lot. They did a lot.
The Ravens?
Yeah.
Bro,
They ran a lot of screens to
what I'm
save
saying.
flowers.
They had like 5 touches out of just screens.
I'm talking to the running back. Okay,
You ain't throwing that to Derrick Henry.
I didn't necessarily say Derrick Henry, but Justice Hill played a lot of that game. And also, what I'm talking about is the creative ones that get you the easy yards. They didn't get no easy yards. No, everything you know what it felt like? It felt like a great offensive player just having to do their own thing. And it still feels like Lamar has to put on a cape and go out there and be Superman. It felt very Lamar centric. And when you add a Derrick Henry and you are an offensive coordinator for this style of team that they've constructed, you got to give Lamar some gimmies. And he didn't have no gimmies. Everything that Lamar got in that game, he earned it or created it. And that's too, you're not going to win a championship like that. It's like he looks like James Harden out there. And Derrick Henry was Chris Paul.
Mm. Well, it was an exciting game. Way more exciting than I thought it was going to be, because that first half was a little ugly. And I commend the Ravens defense too, because they held the Chiefs to 2 field goals in the red zone.
Well, I don't know. The Ravens defense was looking a little Swiss cheese. There was looking a little Swiss cheese here.
First game of the season.
I get that.
And also, schematically, they thought Roquan could be in space with some of these wide receivers. That cover 3, cover 4 that they was playing. Nah, no sir.
Rasheed Rice ain't what's his name? Who we always making fun of? What's the nigga name who just resigned with them?
Kadarius Toney.
No. He no. The other guy.
Ooh.
What's his name?
Juju.
Yeah. Rasheed Rice ain't Juju,
Nah, he's
bro.
not Juju.
Roquan, he had Roquan on skates.
Yep.
and it was like Rasheed Rice got a little route running in him, so he's not gonna be the fastest, but he's quick. But yeah, it was just like, I mean, again, it's Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, so they found the holes in the defense. It's just that I'm just shocked that Baltimore, once again, like you said, Ken, there's no way in hell Lamar should throw on over 38 times a game. There's no way in hell he should be doing that. That's how you know you're gonna lose. Anytime I see Lamar throw more than 30 times a game, I'm like, oh, they probably lost that game. Because that means that they got out of that offense. But then when you watch the game, it's like they were throwing early. Again, I got to give some credit to the Chiefs defense. Like they put them in 3rd and long situations, but still, like to FIFO's point, like they didn't really have any short yardage gimme plays. It was like it's all bombs down the field. But then when you look on the other side of the ball, you see Patty and them, like I said, with Rasheed Rice cutting up the middle. Then you still got the Noah Grays getting the little touches here and there, and then you go for the bomb with Worthy, or you'll go for a trick play. It was just like they didn't make it hard for Patty to ball out. It was like they let the game kind of come to him. With Lamar, it was just, I don't know. It's just this. And I just want to see what they play. When they go to Cincinnati, when they face Cincinnati, I just want to see what that game look like. Because it's like when I'm talking about a team that can put up points. Like the Chiefs could have really put up more than 27 points. Like it wasn't like they were capped. It was just more of like they just did what they wanted to do, and they just kind of kept the lead and kept enough of the lead for the Ravens having to be aggressive and move ball down the field, try to move quickly. Like I never thought the Chiefs were like, oh, they're really locked up and they don't really have a chance to kind of, or like they're just waiting for an opportunity to score. It was like they just scored when they needed to, and you can say the same about Baltimore.
Do you feel like Lamar looked more comfortable than he has? I mean, he had a good play to Likely for the touchdown to get him back within 3, and then that throw to Bateman was pretty huge too.
So Ken, yes and no. Yes, Lamar looks like he is in total control and he has mastered everything on the field. No, because that old line, especially early in the game, it showed that it was a work in progress. You know, they have a rookie left tackle. Oh no, I'm sorry. That's the Chiefs.
That's Kansas. Yeah, that's the
Chiefs. Yeah,
but the Ravens do have like
that rookie tackle in on the Ravens, and he got ate up and caused the fumble.
Yep. But that Ravens O line is not the greatest right now. You know what I'm saying? They Can you mention Chris Jones was basically having his way, and then what's interesting was Spagnuolo in that second half he started putting Chris Jones on the outside. So
yeah,
it's
which
like
I thought was
gonna
interesting.
force this. We gonna force this 1-on-1, bro. We gonna get our best guy a 1-on-1. So I thought that was very interesting. But I think the Ravens, they showed enough, or at least Lamar, in my opinion, showed enough that they should be fine. But they're gonna struggle against the well-coached, tactician-led teams like Kansas City, like obviously it's a different division, but like the Sean McVays of the world, teams that are coached like that, the Ravens are going to struggle against. Now, if you were going to go against a team that's like, okay, your talent versus our talent, Ravens could win that because you're not going to out talent. There's not many quarterbacks that are going to be able to keep up with.
They almost won this game, bro.
Who did?
The
Ravens.
Nah, it wasn't. Kid, it wasn't. What you saw 27-17.
I'm just saying, he talking about tacticians. Like Andy Reid is a tactician. Like that game was right there.
It wasn't right there, bro. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like
it was week 1 though.
I get that. I'm not saying they're not making the playoffs. I'm just saying like these are the games that we judge the Ravens on. You know what I'm saying? Like this is not about Kansas City. They coming off a Super. This is a title game for them because they about to get their rings and all that stuff. They give a fuck. They just know how to play football. I just think that when you asked about Lamar and his comfortability or how he looked, I think in the first half he looked better than he did in the second half. It just seemed like as the game went on, the Chiefs wore on him. it was like, damn, like, it was just like excited to start the season. We hype, we ran down the field, like, yeah, we scored first and all that other shit. And then it's kind of like once they saw Worthy score that touchdown so easily, like the Chiefs went down just almost less plays than them. And they was like, oh, damn, I forgot we playing the Chiefs. They just like no regular AFC team. And they just wore on
Humphrey
them.
thought he had help and he didn't. But
I don't know.
Overall, man, it was.
I don't know how that.
I don't know either. I didn't see the top
and
down.
He's a vet. He's a vet, bro.
That's not on Marlon though. That's not on Marlon. When you have a veteran cornerback take about 3 to 5 steps and playing a zone, he obviously knows that he's supposed to have somebody over the top of him. That wasn't on Marlon. That's on. I don't know if that was Kyle Hamilton or I can't remember the name of the other safety. It was somebody else's issue.
Yeah, somebody, because they were mad.
Marlon ain't gonna mess up like that, bro.
No, don't say that. I've seen Marlon get cooked before, and he was getting cooked.
But that's different, though. Yeah, you getting cooked versus you playing your assignment, and then your teammate not having your back.
I'm just saying, like, for me, it was just like I was waiting for a play like that to happen because it seemed like the Chiefs were just kind of toying with them and just waiting for them to do something stupid for them to go over the top. Because you could tell Patty was looking to go over the top the whole game. He would do that little puff fake, and then he'll do the safe play, or he'll break out and scramble and do something crazy. But they was waiting for that. So once they went 27-17, I was like, there's no way the Ravens are going to score enough to even keep it, to even tie, let alone take the lead. Like, Ken, you talking about that last play with Lamar and likely in the toe, like that was just to technically that was just to tie the game, but they were going to go for 2 to win. But even then, like, look how long it took them to get down to that point. Like,
it took 2 minutes.
A minute 50. Yeah, it was a minute 50.
I'm talking about for them to get to that point of the game where they're just just now tying it up like that.
What does that matter, Nick? That doesn't. The fact of the matter is that they got to the point and they were a toe away from either tying or winning the game or losing the game.
It goes to my point as far as I was saying, like they started off hot, but then they wore down. It was long stretches before they even got down to the field to the score and all that stuff. And even the likely touchdown was, as much credit as I'm giving Lamar making a play on the run, that likely touchdown was not something that was really scripted to where you could say, okay, we can go down the field and do it again.
It was Lamar greatness.
Thank you.
It was likely the athleticism that one.
No. That was Lamar's greatness because there's only a handful of quarterbacks that'll make that throw, bro.
There's only a handful of tight ends that's gonna make that. That's gonna make 2 defenders miss. A stop and start. Come on, people. Let's not act like how many tight. We couldn't even do a tight ends list because there's
less quarterbacks that'll make.
And I told you likely was on my tight end list, by the way.
There's less quarterbacks that'll make that throw than pass catchers making that catch, bro. That's just it is.
I'm giving Lamar credit for the throw. I'm just saying, like, to extend it.
It don't sound like it. It don't sound like it.
That wasn't a touchdown throw. That was I'm giving this the ball to get the first down and likely just made probably one of the plays of the year. We're gonna look back at that and say that's probably one of the plays of the year for the Ravens. Because that wasn't a touchdown throw. That was just a throw to get to the first down. Likely took it. He put the ball in his hand to make
which play are we talking about? Because I'm talking about the play that he stepped out of bounds and wasn't the.
No, I'm talking about the actual touchdown that he had. The actual touchdown likely he had. Like I think the first one he had where he Lamar came out the pocket, he threw it. Yeah, that's the one that made it 7. That was the one that made it 17-20. That was
because he cut up. He read Lamar scrambling. He cut up the field and then he made a play.
He made a play,
and that's what John Harbaugh said at halftime. He said, "Look, everybody settle down. We make 1 or 2 plays, and we're in this." And that's essentially what it came down to. If Isaiah likely makes that play at the end, we're having a different discussion. And then here's another thing too: if they go for 2, in my opinion, you just go give it to Derrick Henry because he fresh.
I wasn't gonna trust Derrick Henry on that second
from the 2-yard line. So what are you doing? You throwing the rock?
No. With the way Lamar was running, I'm doing a little boot plays until you see him get in. Because he had, like you said, he had over 100. He had over 110 yards. He was the biggest. He was the best rusher of the night.
We don't need Marshawn Lynch 2.0. You got a guy that weighs 250 back there. He only had 13 carries. You get him the rock and be like,
There's a
"This is why we
reason.
paid you."
There's a
No,
reason
no,
why he only had 30.
no,
He was getting he was getting wrapped
Nick.
up.
I'm not gonna let you do this. I'm not gonna let you do this because last year or the year before, whenever Russell Wilson went to the Denver Broncos and they had the same opportunity, fourth and whatever, and they didn't give him the ball, I said everything I needed to know. It was earlier in this game. It was 4th and 3 or something like that. And what did they do? They
Fourth,
gave Derrick Henry the
fourth
ball.
and one.
They, I'm
Or okay,
saying,
for whatever. But they gave Derrick Henry the ball because that's who you bring in to do that. So in this situation, to win the game, to get over our roadblock, you go get it to the guy that you just gave big bread to, and it's supposed to be the difference.
it
That's
wasn't
what
that
you
much
They need
do.
to
bread.
get a
First of all,
refund.
Well,
they
I'm
gave
just
him
saying
$8
for running
million.
back.
They gave him
For
$8 million
running back. For
basically.
running
And
back. For
and I'm
running
saying,
back. It's big bread.
I'm using Derrick Henry, yes, on that 4th and 2, whatever that they needed in the field, but on the goal line to win the game, I'm putting the ball in the best player's hands, and that's Lamar. I'm gonna let him make a decision on what he want to do. But I just to me it's like after Likely made it 17-20, I'm like, okay, we got a game. Let's see if the Ravens can come back. But then I feel like that was the next drive. Right after that, that's when you see the Worthy touchdown. And it was like, all right, it's a wrap. So that's what I'm saying is like, if the Ravens can't beat the Chiefs at their weakest, and now the Chiefs look like they got some new weapons, so they're probably gonna be an exciting season for them. And in this game again is going to come back around when we look at the end of the season and why they may or may not get the number 1 seeds because of this game. It's I
You don't need the number
this
one
is this
seed
is
to
my,
win a
this is my
championship.
I'm just saying it like this is my last time ever picking outside of any time they face Cincinnati. This is my last time ever picking against Patty Mahomes. I'm gonna say it right now. I have no faith in Lamar Jackson no more when it comes to him being one of the ones that can potentially beat Patty. Right now it's only Burrow, Ken. Burrow, the only nigga that you can trust to bet money on. Everybody else fails. There's no one who has a good record or even a tied record against him. And it seems crazy because we talking about talented ass quarterbacks like Lamar, like Josh Allen and others that just can't get the fucking job done no matter how many times you do it, no matter how many times you change up their offense or what personnel they have. It just doesn't matter. And I'm just done fighting against it, bro. Like as much as we talking about like how much it was closer, it wasn't. We knew who was gonna win. We knew who was going. That's FIFA. Did you pick the Chiefs to win or lose this game?
I picked the Ravens to win.
You picked the Ravens to win. Oh, okay, so
Mhm. But I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl though.
I should
So
have known that was the sign, kid. If me and FIFA agree on something, and I'm like, all right, I should have changed my pick. As soon as the game came on, I was like, damn, I probably should have picked Kansas City. Because I'm
Nah,
like, bro.
but either way, it was a good game. I can't remember what was the opening game last year. Do you guys remember?
It was Chiefs Lions.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, it was a good
yeah,
game,
Chiefs
man.
lost
That was
that.
an exciting game. 2 MVPs going back and forth, and it came down to the wire. It was 4 seconds and a toe out of bounds, and that ended up
That's
deciding the game.
that's a that's a different type of revisionist history. It wasn't if people watch that game, you making it sound like it came down to a damn nail biter the whole time. Like,
It
nah,
was, Nick.
So
It
you
was
don't
a
think it
nail
was a good
biter.
game? You don't think this was a good game?
it was a prayer. It was a prayer that people were hoping. It was a
Nick,
prayer.
Nick,
It was
your
a prayer.
takes.
I'm just saying. I'm saying at the
You
end
need
of
a
the
channel
game.
all by
I'm
yourself, bro.
saying the end of the game.
Because I like you escape. You need to reach out to Skip Bayless, bro. That's
No,
what you need to do.
I'm saying it was a prayer. That touchdown throw that he threw was a prayer. Like we were surprised, likely even was potentially inbounds. Like for that play to even be made, it was like, how the hell did he make that play? That play doesn't, there's only a few players in the league who do some shit like that, and apparently he ain't one of them because his toe was.
All right, man.
all I will say is this: next week, that's the real test, Ken. We gonna see what it's like next week because Cincinnati coming to Kansas City, and we gonna see
Damn,
what it's
Raven.
like.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We'll. I'm sure we'll be picking that game. But
Yeah, we definitely picking
yeah.
that game. That should be Sunday Night Football. I don't know what they doing. It's gonna be the late. It's gonna be the late afternoon. I think 4:25 game, but that's gonna be the game that I'm looking at to see if Burrow and them can't beat. That's what I'm saying. If we can't beat Patty Dennis, it feels like when the Warriors got KD and all them, it was like we just got to get through the regular season, but we already know who's gonna win it all. You know what I'm saying? Like if the best of the best can't beat you, then what are we doing?
All right. Well, that's it, man. Those are our thoughts on an electrifying game, despite what Nick was saying. Greatness on both ends by everybody, except Harbaugh wasting 2 timeouts. But nevertheless, I guess it is relevant. But I ain't gonna criticize them too bad. Coach up your players so they're not offsides either, or whatever that illegal formation shit is.
Illegal formation.
Yeah, but we're gonna leave it there, man. Come back Tuesday. We're gonna recap all of the football that took place over the weekend. Sunday, hit some of the big stories in college football. There's a Colorado-Nebraska game. I'm sure we may end up talking about depending on how that go, and of course Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football as well. So we'll be back then, man. We'll catch you guys. Oh yeah,
Are we coming back tomorrow?
who playing tomorrow?
The Packers Eagles. Friday night football
in Brazil.
Shit, I'm with it. Yeah, I'm with it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gonna be.
I guess we'll be back tomorrow then. Oh yeah. That's Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts.
Yeah,
All right, yeah,
the Love Hurts game.
You've been writing that all day.
I saw it on. I think I saw it on ESPN. I'm like, I'm gonna take that.
All right, man. Well, we'll catch you guys tomorrow then. We out. Peace. And they did let a defensive coordinator call a timeout, which was crazy. I don't know how that happened.
First game